So I saw the Avengers over the weekend, and I'm sure if you give a shit about this sort of thing, you've seen it too. This isn't going to be one of those movie reviews where I try to tell you whether or not you should see the movie. I mean, I expect you've probably already seen the movie. I just want to talk about it because I like talking about movies because I feel like I know a little something about it. I thought it was a really, really excellent movie, and here come the four snobbiest words in all of film criticism for what it was. I thought maybe the best popcorn movie ever made. I would not put it in the pantheon of superhero movies. I would not put it anywhere near the level of, say, The Dark Knight, which I think most people agree is, if not the best, then one of the standard bearers of that genre. And for me, I also love Ang Lee's Hulk. I think that's an amazing film. And of course, Superman Returns, possibly my favorite superhero film. I made videos about how great Superman Returns is. I don't think that The Avengers belongs in that class. I don't think it's anywhere near the level of any of those films. But The Avengers doesn't want to be any of those. That's not what The Avengers is about. And Roger Ebert advises that when you are criticizing a movie and when you're evaluating it critically, that your standard should be how well the film achieves the goals that it sets for itself. To what degree does it succeed at doing what it sets out to do? I would submit that The Avengers sets out to do little more than entertain and crowd please, and does a fantastic job of that. It would be unfair of me to dock it points because it's not as thematically dense as The Dark Knight or as visually poetic as Superman Returns or things like that, because it makes no attempt at any of that. It just wants to be a big summer blockbuster popcorn movie, and as I said, it may be the best one of those ever. Two people, I think, three people, two people primarily, and then a third person related to one of them, I think really deserve credit creatively for the success of the Avengers. The first one obviously is Joss Whedon. Joss Whedon really proves why he was perhaps the only person fit to direct and to co-write this movie, because he really, in his television career, his trademark, at least to me, was his ability to combine comedy, and I don't just mean like comic relief, but real funny, genuinely funny, smart comedy with pathos. And he did it very well in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and he did it extraordinarily well, he and his fellow writers, on the spin-off series to that, Angel, which is one of my favorite TV shows ever, just because it had this quality that the Avengers has also. Look, I said on Facebook a couple of days ago when I posted after I first saw the film, the plot of the Avengers is ridiculous. It's preposterous. Aliens attacking from a portal in the sky. Loki, the evil demigod brother of Thor, coming to rule the Earth. It's total horseshit. It's the kind of thing that it just puts me to sleep. I mean, I know, like, people always bitch about the Superman movies because the villain is always like Lex Luthor, you know, and they say, well, make a Superman movie with Darkseid, make a Superman movie with Doomsday, make a Superman movie with Mongol, you know. And I just couldn't care less about any of that shit. I want Superman to be on the Earth. I want Superman to be in Metropolis. That's where I find him the most interesting. And I could care less about all the fucking Green Lantern shit up in space. That's just not where my interest lies. So the parts in the Avengers where, you know, Loki is like reporting to his alien boss, and he's like, you know, put me at the head of your Chitauri army and I will deliver you the Earth. And I mean, this is me when all that was happening. I was just like this. Okay, I don't care about any of that. That puts me the fuck to sleep. I could not possibly care less about any of that. But whenever that shit would happen, that would go on for a couple minutes, and then boom, Tony Stark would say something funny. Or there'd be a joke with Captain America, or you know, something really, like, not just sort of, you know, ah ha 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 ha, mildly amusing, but really funny would happen. And that's what Whedon really excels at as a storyteller, is that balance between comedy and pathos. And he pulls it off wonderfully, splendidly in the Avengers. Because there are times when the movie gets way up its own ass with the mythology and with the alien shit. And and then the battle scenes themselves, especially toward the end, really tend to drag. They just go on and on and on, just one computer generated thing smashing into another computer generated thing. It just bores me to tears. But because it has such a wonderful humor to it, and because there's always a joke just over the horizon, and a good joke, a funny joke, a joke that not only makes you laugh but shows that Whedon knows the characters and is giving you some insight into the people. When Tony Stark makes a quip, it tells you something about who he is. Or when someone makes a Wizard of Oz reference and Captain America goes, "Oh, I got that one," because he's from the 40s. He just woke up, and most of the pop culture shit that they talk about is way over his head. But somebody says something about the Wizard of Oz, and Cap is like, "Oh, I got that one. I know what you're talking about." The other people very closely related are Robert Downey Jr. and Jon Favreau, actually, because Downey in his performance and Favreau in his direction and his enabling of that Downey performance really established the template, really laid the foundation for this movie when they made Iron Man a few years ago. If not for Iron Man, both as the commercial success that it was, and for the creative direction that they took Iron Man, and allowing Robert Downey Jr. to lay this foundation and to say, okay, this is the way these movies are going to sound. This is the way these people are going to talk. This is the way they're going to relate to each other. The character work that Robert Downey Jr. and Gwyneth Paltrow and Jeff Bridges did in Iron Man is what really set the standard and created the mold, if I can use yet another metaphor for this, that is seen in the Avengers. And Favreau, of course, was a big part of that as the director, and Downey, just outstanding. And speaking of the cast of the Avengers does a great job. Downey was the main reason why I wanted to see the movie. I really could care less about fucking Thor. I know. I mean, I love the Hulk, but my Hulk movie was the one that everybody hated, so I wasn't necessarily like thrilled to see the Hulk, particularly. But Downey was great. Chris Evans as Captain America was terrific. I didn't see the Captain America movie when it came out last year, so this was my first time seeing him as Captain America, and he did a great job, both through his performance and through the script. I felt like they created a Captain America character that kept that sort of all shucks, like, mom and apple pie kind of corny all-American boy quality to him. But at the same time, he doesn't come off as a goody two-shoes or a Boy Scout. He comes off as a really likable, really great, tough character. Mark Ruffalo as Bruce Banner does a really good job picking up from Edward Norton. I almost called him Ed Norton, but apparently he really hates being called Ed Norton. I don't know what he has against the Honeymooners, but Mark Ruffalo did a terrific job. Speaking of the Hulk, I think, is used in a way in this film that kind of keeps everybody happy. Because like I said, my favorite Hulk movie, one of my favorite superhero movies, period, was Ang Lee's Hulk with Eric Bana and Nick Nolte and Jennifer Connelly. And I was one of the only people that thought that. A lot of people just thought it was boring, or that it was pretentious or whatever. And now they've gone in a completely opposite direction. But because of the nature of the Avengers, because the Hulk is a supporting character, and because the little character moments with Banner that were nice aside, he's not the center of the film. The story is not about him in any real way. So the Hulk, especially when he is the Hulk, can be a supporting character, and he can just be cut loose. The Hulk can be not so much a character, but just like a bomb that the Avengers can drop. And when he hulks out for the last half hour of the film and just goes nuts, that's like the perfect, that keeps everybody happy, because I'm entertained by that, and I'm not bothered by how flat and shallow the characterization is, because the movie's not about him anyway, the hell with it. And he gets to do all the fucking things that get the nerds to come in their pants. He gets to smash shit and jump around and create all the carnage. And again, because Whedon is such a good filmmaker and a good writer, he does some really funny things with the Hulk. The bit where Hulk picks up Loki and does Bam Bam with him, I mean, that's just, it doesn't get any better than that in a movie like this. There's a moment where he kind of sucker punches Thor, which I think has become like the big, everybody's favorite moment in the film. Just really good stuff with Hulk. And the rest of the cast is Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury is terrific. Scarlett Johansson and Jeremy Renner are good. And I really appreciated the way they sort of gave Scarlett Johansson's character this ability to interrogate people without them realizing they're being interrogated. That's like sort of to justify her presence on the team, since she doesn't have superpowers. She's basically just a spy who knows how to fight. She's the Black Widow, and I thought that was I really liked that they gave her that. That was sort of her thing. She's not the Hulk, she's not Captain America, but she's able to interrogate the villain and get the information they want without the villain even knowing that he's being interrogated or even realizing that he's giving it up. And I thought that was really great. And of course, Hawkeye is basically just Green Arrow. Not a deep movie, really. I mean, I say all these things. There are these nice character moments, and again, the humor, which just carries me through the whole thing. It really makes the movie. But it's not a deep movie. It's a spectacle movie. It's escapism. It's about being clever and being inventive and being exciting and entertaining and fun. And it is all of those things in spades. And I'm glad that Marvel and Paramount had the wisdom to open it. I think Disney, isn't it? It's a Disney thing too, isn't it? Everything's fucking Disney. But I'm glad that the various conglomerates involved had the wisdom to open it early in May, so it has the space between now and summer before Dark Knight Rises comes out and everybody forgets that this fucking movie even exists. It's a good movie. I know a lot of my comic book friends are going to see it 2 and 3 times. I don't really see that. I don't think I'll probably won't watch it again until it comes out on home video, and I might not even watch it then. It just doesn't. It's not the kind of movie that'll stay with me, I don't think, because I prefer other kinds of movies. But it's a great popcorn movie. Maybe the best one of those they've ever done. It's way better than fucking shit like Transformers or Battleship that is coming out, I guess, this summer, that they had a trailer for. It looked like the dumbest fucking thing they ever made. The Avengers. Recommended.